Then why would I marry you? Adana asked, her eyes brimming with tears. You married me for my money, and I also know that you've been cheating on me, Chidi said, his voice cold and accusing. What? Adana's eyes widened in shock. I saw it with my own eyes. You with Obi, Chidi said, his voice shaking with rage. Adana Nwosu sat at the dinner table, her mind racing with thoughts she couldn't voice. How was your day? She asked, trying to break the silence. Chidi Okafor didn't look up from his meal. I don't want to talk about it, he muttered. Adana's heart sank. Do you remember what today is? She pressed on, hoping to rekindle some spark. Yeah, Chidi replied flatly. I'm going after dinner. Going where? Adana's voice wavered. To pick up Ogechi from the hospital and drop her off at home. But it's our 3-year anniversary, Adana whispered, her eyes filling with tears. Really? You're going to see Ogechi today of all days? Chidi finally looked up, irritation etched on his face. What's with you tonight? I see Ogechi all the time. Can we just eat in silence like we normally do? Just then, Chidi's phone rang. Ogechi, hey, is everything okay? He answered, his tone softening. Adana couldn't believe it. Chidi never talks to me like that. Hey, it's all right. Don't cry. Yeah, I'll come get you right now, Chidi said into the phone, ignoring Adana's presence entirely. It's our 3-year anniversary today? Adana said, her voice barely above a whisper. Is it? Okay, Chidi replied absent-mindedly. Adana couldn't take it anymore. I spent all day cooking this dinner trying to do something special, Adana said, her voice filled with a mixture of anger and hurt. Don't start acting like you care now, Adana. You never loved me, Chidi retorted. Then why would I marry you? Adana asked, her eyes brimming with tears. You married me for my money, and I also know that you've been cheating on me, Chidi said, his voice cold and accusing. What? Adana's eyes widened in shock. I saw it with my own eyes. You with Obi, Chidi said, his voice shaking with rage. Obi Nwosu, the heir to the Nwosu Enterprises, was seen being intimate with a mysterious woman earlier this week. This came as a shock to many, as Obi Nwosu was known to steer clear of women. That's Adana. People want to know now. Who is she and why her? The news reporter had said. Chidi's accusation hung in the air, heavy and damning. The room was silent, the only sound the distant hum of Lagos traffic. Adana stood frozen, her heart pounding in her chest. Chidi, what are you talking about? Ogechi was right about you. You've never been honest with me, she finally managed to say. Ogechi? Really? You're going to trust her over your own wife? You know that Ogechi is like a sister to me. Her father died saving my life, Chidi said, his voice rising with each word. And you, until you're ready to be honest with me, I don't want to spend another second here, Chidi said, grabbing his keys and heading for the door. Chidi, please don't leave me for her. Chidi, not tonight, Adana pleaded, but her words fell on deaf ears. I have to go. She needs me, Chidi said, slamming the door behind him. As the sound of Chidi's footsteps faded, Adana sank to the floor, tears streaming down her face. She knew that tonight, her marriage was hanging by a thread. Adana was hiding something from him. See, he thought that he was the one who provided her with this fairy tale lifestyle. But he was wrong. Adana picked up her phone and dialed a familiar number. Obi? Do you know what time it is? I know that it's late, but I need it. I need it now. Oh, fine. I'll come get you, Obi replied, his voice filled with concern. Careful, Adana thought to herself, as she slipped out of the house and into the night. When she arrived at Obi's place, he was already waiting for her. Adana, what's going on? You look terrible, he said, his brow furrowed with worry. I don't feel too good, Adana said, her voice barely above a whisper. Hey, I got you, Adana. You're cold? Here, let's see. Well, your temperature is good. It's no fever. Look, I'll get you some soup tomorrow, but I gotta get home, okay? Obi said, wrapping his arms around her. No, but Obi, I feel so much better when you're here. Stay for one drink, please, Adana pleaded. Okay, fine. Just one drink, Obi said, relenting. Cheers. Thanks for always taking such good care of me, Adana said, raising her glass. Oh, Adana, you're not getting your husband back tonight. Chidi, this all a mistake? Obi asked, his voice filled with sadness. As they sat in silence, the weight of their secrets hung heavily between them. Adana knew that her double life was beginning to unravel and there was no going back. The next morning, Adana woke up in Obi's arms. She felt a pang of guilt as she realized she had stayed out all night. Oh shit, well I gotta get home. Chidi's gonna freak, Adana said, scrambling to get dressed. Really? She didn't even call, Obi said, a hint of bitterness in his voice. I'll catch you later, Adana said, rushing out the door. When she arrived home, Chidi was already waiting for her, his eyes filled with anger. Adana, he spat, slapping her across the face. What's this? Adana asked, holding up a plate of strawberries. They're my favorite, she said, her voice trembling. I should get going, Chidi said, his voice cold and distant. This is the last breakfast I'll ever make for you, Chidi-ease, Adana said, her voice breaking. I want a divorce, she declared, her eyes blazing with determination. Chidi laughed, a bitter sound that echoed through the room. That's funny. No, Adana. You know, I'm leaving. I'm done. You're leaving? Where are you going to go, Adana? You have nowhere to go. You're penniless without me, Chidi sneered. Adana turned and walked away, her heart heavy with the weight of her decision. She knew that there was nothing left to go back to. As she reached the door, Chidi's mother, Auntie Ifeoma, appeared, her face twisted with anger. You're the mistake. You were never worthy of my son. Let her go. A low-class gold digger never belonged in the Ease family anyway, Auntie Ifeoma said, her voice dripping with disdain. You can call me whatever you want. At least I'm not a cheater, Adana retorted. I never cheated on you, Chidi said, his voice filled with indignation. Darling, don't waste another breath on this irrelevant skank. You leeched off my son for 3 horrible years. When you walk out, don't expect another cent, Auntie Ifeoma said, her voice filled with venom. Wasn't planning on it, Adana said, her voice strong and resolute. As she walked out the door, Chidi called after her. Adana, wait. Look, you're not going to get any money from the divorce settlement, but I'm not going to let you end up on the streets. Take this check. Adana looked at the check and then back at Chidi. God, you still don't get it. I never wanted your money. This is not why I married you. She turned and walked away, her heart filled with a newfound sense of freedom. Adana stood on the balcony of her new apartment, the city of Lagos stretching out before her. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her old life lifting off her shoulders. Mr. and Miss Nwosu, what an honor. Sorry for calling this late again. You know my sister? Asked Obi. Anything for our most important clients, the jeweler said, handing Adana a box. Miss Nwosu, these just came in from Italy today. You're the first person to see them, he said, his voice filled with pride. Adana opened the box to reveal a flawless red diamond. One of a kind. How much is this? Miss Nwosu, you are one of our most valued customers. I will sell it to you at cost, $1.5 million, the jeweler said, his voice filled with awe. Like crazy rich. I'll take it, Adana said, her voice filled with confidence. As she slipped the diamond ring onto her finger, she felt a sense of power and control that she had never felt before. You regret giving this all up now to marry Chidi Ease? Obi asked, his voice filled with curiosity. No, I'm happy, Adana replied, her voice steady. Sure. You know, Father will always have your back if you divorce that loser, Obi said, his voice filled with reassurance. I'm not getting a divorce, Adana said, her voice firm. Oh, so he is a loser? Good night, Obi said, his voice filled with amusement. "Good night," Adana replied, her voice soft. As she lay in bed, her thoughts turned to Chidi and the life she had left behind. She knew that she had made the right decision, but the road ahead was uncertain. The next morning, Adana arrived at the office of Nwosu Cosmetics, ready to take on her new role as CEO. She was greeted with a mix of curiosity and skepticism from her new colleagues. "Did you hear about the new CEO? We're getting some random young girl. Yeah, outsourced. I bet she slept her way into the position," one of the senior associates whispered to another. Adana ignored the whispers and walked confidently into the boardroom. "Good morning, everyone. It is with great excitement that I'll be introducing our new CEO," the chairman announced. The room erupted in applause as Adana took her place at the head of the table. "Hi, everyone. I'm Adana Nwosu, the new CEO starting today," she said, her voice filled with authority. As the meeting progressed, Adana felt a sense of determination building within her. She knew that she had to prove herself, not just to her colleagues, but to herself as well. After the meeting, her assistant, Ngozi, handed her a folder. "Our priority right now is a collaboration with a company called Obi Corp. Negotiations are still ongoing, but it's not looking good. Their CEO, Daniel Obina, is just notoriously difficult," Ngozi explained. "Difficult? Difficult how?" Adana asked, her curiosity piqued. "Well, Oh God, you have a meeting with the board in 3 minutes," Ngozi said, her voice filled with urgency. Adana hurried to the boardroom, her mind racing with thoughts of the challenges ahead. As Adana entered the boardroom, she was met with a familiar face. "Hi, I'm Adana Nwosu. What the hell? No freaking way. What are you doing here?" she exclaimed. "What are you doing here? What the hell is going on right now?" Chidi replied, his voice filled with disbelief. That's my ex, they both said simultaneously. The room fell silent as the tension between them became palpable. "Okay, let me try that again. My name is Adana Nwosu, and I'm the new CEO of Nwosu Cosmetics," Adana said, her voice steady. This woman hasn't worked a day in her life. Adana Nwosu is Chidi Easy's ex-wife. Aren't they still in the process of divorce? Since when did we let family drama into board meetings? This is hugely unprofessional. I can already see the headlines, one of the board members said, his voice filled with disdain. "Enough. It's my first day on the job, and you guys are already trying to gaslight me. First you say I'm unprofessional because of my private affairs. Then when I react, you're going to say I'm overreacting. I get upset, you're going to say I'm unstable. Well, guess what? It's 2024, and it's time for you to learn how to shut your trap. I'm the boss in here, so you either work with me or you get the hell out of my boardroom," Adana said, her voice filled with determination. As the meeting continued, Adana felt a sense of empowerment. She knew that she had to stand her ground and prove herself as a capable leader. After the meeting, Chidi approached Adana. "Let's talk," he said, his voice filled with urgency. "What's there to talk about? Is this why you left me for Obi Nwosu? Because he gave you a job at some small company?" Chidi asked, his voice filled with anger. "Obi, what are you talking about?" Adana replied, her voice filled with confusion. "I just don't get how you're suddenly a CEO after staying at home for 3 years, Chidi said, his voice filled with frustration. "There's a lot that you don't know about me, Chidi. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a job to get back to," Adana said, her voice cold and dismissive. As Adana walked away, she couldn't shake the feeling that her past was catching up to her. Later that day, Adana received a bouquet of flowers. "Mr. Ease, do you need anything? Get me a bouquet. Biggest one you can find," the florist said, handing Adana the bouquet. Adana looked at the card and saw Chidi's name. She felt a mix of emotions as she read the note. "Darling, stop working so hard. Ogechi is feeling better and looking absolutely gorgeous today. Why don't you take the poor girl out to dinner?" the note read. Adana's mind raced as she tried to make sense of Chidi's actions. She knew that their relationship was far from over. Adana arrived at her brother Obi's house, feeling a sense of comfort and familiarity. As she lay in bed, Adana's mind wandered back to the secrets she had been keeping from Chidi. She thought about her encounters with Kunle Adebayo, the dangerous CEO of Adebayo Tech, and Daniel Obina, the ambitious CEO of Obi Corp, who wanted a partnership. She knew she had to confront her past, but the truth seemed too overwhelming. Wow, what an intense start to our story. Adana's life is clearly more complicated than it seems, and we can't wait to see how things unfold. Make sure to join us in the next episode as we dive deeper into her world of secrets and lies. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest parts of this thrilling story. See you next time.